So my God, we've done 3 of these now, and I have to come up with new stories.
Well, you know, it's okay. You did 3 movies there, so that's all right. Yeah. Hey, can I ask you? Have you been working on anything new? Come on, I had to take the shot. You know,
I didn't even hear what you said.
I asked if you've been working. All the better. See, you use the Jedi mind trick. I mean, I said, have you been working on anything new?
This beard.
Yeah.
It's taken so long. This is since April 29th.
Really? So it just...
It's forever. See, I thought I'd be clean shaven for this weekend.
Yeah.
And I sort of backtracked on the calendar. I thought, oh no, I'm not going to make it. So, you know, I don't color my hair. And I thought, well, you know, I don't have that much gray. And then I grew the beard and I was in a state of shock.
Don't feel so bad. Mine is all white. I'm really Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. Well, for any of the younger people that might be slightly alarmed, just tell them that I'm Luke's grandfather. We don't want to be frightened the little ones.
And you know, I just want to cover this a bit. I am such a fan of Star Wars, obviously. And the thing I loved about it was the first time I saw it in a drive-in theater in San Jose, California, back in '77.
Drive-in theater with that great sound.
Great sound quality on the little speaker. It was like a cell phone. No, I was surprised. I was amazed, and I was just engulfed in the story. And that's the beauty of movies, is when you get in there and you just dig down deep into that story. And the thing about that is when you don't know every aspect about it before you go in. You know, it's like trailers give everything away nowadays. So I don't really think I want to know all that much. I just want to know, I'm glad you're in it. And I'm happy that you're in it, but I'd like to talk about your career here today and, you know.
Well, you can imagine what it was like, because I got the part after an interview with George, like I told before, a co-interview with George for this movie, and Brian De Palma for Carrie. Then I got a scene in the mail, and we shot that on video. I did that with Harrison, who I knew from American Graffiti, so I recognized him. I thought, ooh, he knows George. Maybe give me some insight. And, you know, I'm saying, is this like a parody, or are we making fun of this? I mean, is it a joke? Is it like Mel Brooks?
It's hard for any of us to imagine, because we all know Star Wars now, but yeah, you wouldn't have known. There wasn't really anything like it before that, so it could have been a parody for all you.
Yeah, well, it seemed like, I didn't really know, because like I say, it was only 7 or 9 and 10 pages. The experience that I'll never forget was, my agent said, you got the part, and they're going to send the script over. And I had this little 1-bedroom apartment at the ocean in Malibu. I saved up all my TV and soap opera money, and had this place out at the beach to sit down and read that script.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute, I'm Luke in this thing? Because I thought when I did the screen test, Harrison looked like the leading man. I thought I was the sidekick. You know? He was the guy in control, and I was like the annoying, you know, sidekick. And I opened the page, and it said, the title page, believe it or not, said, "The Adventures of Luke Skywalker as taken from the Journal of the Wills. Saga number 1, The Star Wars." And I went, wait a minute. I think I'm Luke.
Yeah.
Why isn't it, you know, The Adventures of Han Solo? So I start reading this thing, you know, and it's, you know, people can't imagine, because with John Williams' fantastic score and all the wonderful effects work, it's hard to imagine how impactful it was just to read it. And it was. I mean, when I'm reading this thing, I went, holy moly, this is really floating cars and lightsabers and
I've never asked you about that, the lightsaber. I mean, you know, it's commonplace for us now. Did that blow your mind at the time? Were you like, I can't wait to see how this is going to look?
What is this? Well, it's a beam of light, and it can cut all these things. And there was description enough in the text so that you sort of understood what was going on. But I'm telling you, after, I mean, I read it in an hour or two, and I went right back to the beginning and started reading again. But it's just, I was like, the wind was knocked out of me. I called my friend Jonathan Benaire, and he worked at the LA Art Museum, and I said, look up every fantasy and science fiction movie since the original King Kong, and I want to see what the grosses were. And he said, why? I said, I just read something that I'll bet you anything is going to be just as popular as Planet of the Apes. And I meant the original one with Charlton Heston. Because the whole idea was, I knew my agent said, well, if this one's successful, then there's going to be a 2 and a 3. You know, although the numbering was confusing. It's like episode 4, huh?
Yeah.
Looking under the couch cushions. Maybe I lost the first part. That was the idea, is to get you. The idea was to make you feel like you'd come into it having missed a few chapters.
Yeah, and again, kind of ahead of its time.
And I remember saying to George, the very first day that Darth Vader entered, I wanted to be on set that day. I didn't work that day, but listen, you know, like it was so much more interesting to be on set than just being a tourist in London. So I said, I want to be there on the day that David comes through the wall. And they had
it was the big scene that we know.
Yes, when he first comes through.
Yeah.
And because I loved the costume. I said to George, wow, it's cool. It's like Dr. Doom.
Yeah, that's
great. He gave me a dirty look. No. I mean, there's influences. There's so many influences. It's pirate movies. It's cowboy movies. It's the Dam Busters. It's the Hidden Fortress. As we know, it's been, you know, every element, you know, put together makes it all, you know, everything old is new again.
Yeah.
But in any case, I remember during one of the breaks, I said to George on the day that Vader enters through that wall, and I said, aren't you going to cut to 2 guys saying, that's the Dark Lord of the Sith? He's, you know,
yeah, give you the exposition.
He goes, no, we'll just play some scary music. He's all dressed in black. Don't know he's the bad guy. What a model of brevity. Of course. Anybody that dresses like that, you know, can't be, you know, there's something wrong.
Yeah, and it's not going to be like, hey, how's it going? You know,
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you know, I don't know if